If you are even a little bit awake on planet Earth right now, you're probably noticing shit's getting hard. We are going through a massive transformation, collectively and individually. So all of our stuff is coming up for review. All the ways that we've been doing life on planet Earth, relationships, money, all of it is being challenged. And a lot of times what happens in that discomfort is consciously or unconsciously, and a lot of times unconsciously, we end up fighting against the very change that we want. We set things into motion. We want a better life for ourselves. We want a better job. We want to build a business. We want to have better relationships. We're calling on this change. There's probably some aspect of your life right now where you're calling on some change. And then what happens when the change starts to happen and it doesn't look how we wanted it to look, or it's uncomfortable, as change often is, we end up fighting it. When we fight against life, we actually keep ourselves stuck in a state of suffering. It keeps us in a state of war within ourselves, and obviously it keeps us in a state of war with one another. It keeps us in a state of war with life. And I know this, or I got the invitation, I'll say, to explore this deeply with a recent cancer diagnosis. Let me tell you, nobody wants that, right? You get a cancer diagnosis and what do you want to do? What's the immediate thing you want to do? You want to fight against it? I don't want this. I'm not doing this. This is not what I asked for. And so I'm sharing this with you from the inside of a very, very challenging experience. And also through this, I can say that I know that had I chosen to fight against this diagnosis and this journey, I would not be here right now feeling as good as I do, being cancer-free right now, 6 months later, if I had chosen to fight it. And I want to share this with you, not because you're also going through cancer, maybe you are, but because anytime there are challenging things that come up in your life and you fight against them, you are preventing the very thing that you want. You are preventing it from happening, whether that's healing. In my case, you get a cancer diagnosis, you want healing. When you fight against it, you end up preventing life from being able to flow through you and through your life. So if you're calling in abundance, or you're calling in love, or you're calling in healing, but you're doing it from a place of fighting, it can't happen. Like mechanically, it can't even happen. You're literally out here with your fists closed, asking for more life, more abundance, more inspiration, more energy, whatever it is. You have to open your fists, because fists are made for fighting and open hands are made for receiving. So if you are going through life like this, you can't receive what you want to receive, what you're here to receive. And for me, that cancer diagnosis, I could have easily gone into this. I know I could have. And there were moments when I did. There were moments where I had to release the urge to fight. And I had to let go of that and open. And for me, it seems like the worst timing. The day before I got the diagnosis, I got engaged. And when we got the call the next day from the doctor who said the lump that we thought was nothing is actually something, it's the big C, I made a choice in that moment. It was a conscious choice to say to myself, I am not going to fight this. I am choosing to live by the philosophy that I have taught for years, that I have lived by, and now it's being challenged in a very, very big way. The philosophy that I have lived by is even this is serving me. Whatever this is even this challenge is serving me. And I've used that. I used that when I was getting let go from a job. I used that when my car got hit and smashed. Even this is serving me. Well, now here I am facing really hard shit, and I have to live by my philosophy. So how can I live as if even this is serving me? And that was the choice that I made in that moment. And I also knew if you are a teacher of transformation, and if you're here in some way, you probably are a healer, a teacher, a guide. You know that it's dangerous to teach what you teach, because you have to live it. And life will help you to be a better teacher by giving you more powerful lessons so that you can really get it, so that you can teach it from your embodiment. So I knew when that cancer diagnosis came, I went, oh shit. My soul thinks I'm ready for this next level of this curriculum. God, I wish I wasn't ready for this next level. I don't want to be ready for this, but I guess I am. Here it is. And I chose to see it that way. Okay, my soul thinks I'm strong enough for this. God thinks I'm strong enough for this. Okay, what do I need to learn? What gifts are coming from this? And I knew that in order to receive the gifts and in order to embody the gift that this initiation was presenting, I couldn't do the thing that we're taught to do. If you ever get a cancer diagnosis, to fight it, to battle against it. So funny, because I see these things everywhere. We were driving in LA the other day in traffic, and literally in front of us, there are two cars right next to each other with bumper stickers that say "fuck cancer." And there's this whole campaign of like, cancer's this horrible thing and you gotta battle it, and we're fighting it, and we're at war with this thing. But I knew that wasn't my journey. And I know that I am meant to move through this the way that I have, so that I could share it with you from this place. I promise you that when you partner with life, when you partner with whatever hard and horrible thing is presenting itself to you, you will find the gifts in it. Because fighting against it has never helped anyone. What happens when you fight against life, you shut off your connection to your creativity. You shut off your connection to source. You shut off your connection to abundance. You shut off your connection to healing. I don't mean that even just in like this spiritual, energetic perspective, but from a nervous system perspective, when we're fighting, when we're in a nervous system state of fight, we're in a nervous system state of survival. And when your body is in survival mode, it's literally shutting off all other things. It's shutting off digestion. It's shutting off healing. It's shutting off your creative brain. It's shutting off all those things so that you can deal with the one thing that you need to survive. But everything that's being presented to you is not going to kill you, including cancer. Including cancer. Oh, but what if it does? What if you have stage 4 and blah, 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 blah. Even that, I had to go there inside of myself when I got this diagnosis. I had to go all the way to, what if, Leandra, what if this is how your life ends? Okay, because when I first got the diagnosis, I had no idea what stage it was. Okay, so let me go there. Can I embrace this experience even if it takes me all the way to my deathbed? And I made a promise to myself on that very day that I received that diagnosis. Even if this is how this body makes her exit, I'm still going to embrace this as the gift that it is. Because whether it's cancer that takes me out, or a car accident, or a plane accident, or something random, or I get to live all the way until I'm 110, 20, and I get to die peacefully in my sleep. No matter what, death is inevitable. So I'm not going to fight against death. I am going to live for the gifts that this life, this moment is presenting me. And when you do that, and when I did that, it allows life force to flow through you so that you can live, so that you can live well, so that you can create the life, the business, the relationships that you want to have. So how do you do that? How do you partner with the most difficult things in your life? First of all, yes, we acknowledge this shit is hard, okay? It's hard. Life is hard. But it doesn't have to equal suffering. And so when life presents you with something challenging, something you didn't want, you get fired from the job, you get broken up with, you face a betrayal, first acknowledge this is really hard. This is really hard. And I had to say that to myself a lot during the cancer adventure. And even now, there's still really hard things about the stage that I'm in. We say to ourselves, okay, this is really hard. And now how can I get curious about how this might be for me? Or even just saying the mantra, okay, maybe I don't know how the gifts are going to come from this, but even this is serving me. Even this is serving me because I choose it. I choose for this hard thing to serve me. I choose to not fight against it. And when we do that, when we put ourselves in the place of choosing, we put ourselves in a place of empowerment. And when we're empowered, we're not in a state of victimhood and we're not in a state of survival. And then we have access to our full spectrum of creativity. And we can also ask ourselves, once we get over the initial shock, then we can ask, what is this here to show me? What are the possible gifts in it? And it sounds counterintuitive because, say, for example, with cancer, a lot of people think we have to fight it. Well, if I don't fight it, then it's going to take over and it's going to win the battle. But what if, we'll take cancer as an example, what if cancer is here actually to heal you? And I'm going to share more about how cancer has brought me so many gifts, and continues to. But for now, I want to leave you with that it is possible to partner with even the most difficult things in your life. So what does it look like to partner with difficult things in your life? First of all, I want to say my story that I'm sharing with you, it's not because I have something special. It's just because I've spent a lot of time building this muscle. I spent a lot of time moving through really hard shit in life and realizing, man, the more I fight against it, the harder it is. What if there's another way? Let me see what happens if I choose to see the gifts in these things. So I just have this muscle, and like I said, my soul thought my muscles were strong enough to face this, and I guess I was, right? So I want to share with you how you can grow that muscle, the muscle of softening, the muscle of opening. How can you use that to partner with the difficult things that present themselves in your life? So the first thing is to get curious instead of go into resistance. You can even feel that in your body. What if I could just be a little bit curious about this situation instead of, I don't want this, get me out of here, because again, it's here. How can I be curious about how this might be serving me? And you can borrow my mantra. somehow even this is serving me. Somehow even this is working for me. And just repeat that and feel that feeling of somehow even this. And then when you're ready, letting yourself ask, what is the gift in this? What is this here to show me? Or what might there be here? Maybe you can't quite see the gifts yet, but maybe you can say, what could be a gift here? And let your higher self start to reveal to you what those gifts are, and you will find them if you just ask the question. By doing this, by getting curious and partnering with these difficult things, you are not going to bypass difficult emotions. I promise you. I promise you that during my adventure with cancer, there were very, very many difficult emotions, no matter how much I was partnering with it. But difficult emotions doesn't have to equal suffering. The suffering comes in the resistance. And also, when we allow ourselves to partner with what's happening, it allows the nervous system, your nervous system, to relax, to open. When you're curious, you're far more open. Your nervous system isn't in a state of fight or flight. And so you have more access to your creativity. You have more access to energy. And, for me in practice, what that looked like is when the difficult things would arise, when the fear would arise, I would feel it. Okay, here's a wave of fear. I'm going to let myself fully feel it. I'm not going to fight against even this fear. Even feeling this fear is a part of this journey. And how can feeling fear serve me? Well, let me look into this. Let me get curious about this fear. Okay, what's at the core of this fear? Well, when you're dealing with a diagnosis like cancer, what's at the core of that fear is death. Okay, let me go all the way into it. Let me get curious about my fear around death. And then the fear passes, and I get to live my life. In this moment, I'm alive. So it's actually a gift to be able to feel the difficult things and not bypass them. And when we're partnering with life, we get to partner with even the difficult emotions, even the most difficult. And so thank you, Cancer Journey, for giving me such a beautiful opportunity to work with that very powerful energy. And the thing is, with all of this, I want you to take this away from it. You don't have to agree with what's happening. You don't have to say, I want this, I love this. You don't have to agree with what's happening. You just have to stop being at war with your own life and feel how that shifts the energy in your life. You don't have to agree with what's happening in the world. Just stop fighting against it. Just start getting curious about how this might be serving you, how this might be serving the planet. How are these difficult things that are happening serving us? How is facing all of our shadows serving us? How is facing our deepest fears serving us? And when we face them from this place of partnership, of curiosity, that's where the evolution happens. That's where the healing happens. That's where your creativity, your true creativity, gets unlocked. Your ability to create the life that you came here to create gets unlocked when you stop fighting life. Because what becomes possible when you partner with the difficult things in your life? Everything becomes possible when you end the war that you have with life. For me, what became possible, and I'm going to be sharing more of the gifts that I received through this cancer adventure. What became possible is I got to become more of me. I got to face my deepest fears and shadows. I got to crack my heart open and let people in a way that I never have in my whole life. I got to open to receive love and support in ways that I have never felt. What a gift. What an incredible gift. And I could have kept going in my life the way I was going. Life was good. And I wouldn't have known this level of love, this level of support. So how could you, partnering with life and getting curious about these difficult things that you face, how could that crack you open? What are the possibilities? What becomes possible for you when you do this practice? And soon I'll be sharing more about how the perfection of the seemingly imperfect timing of all of this is perfect. How getting the diagnosis the day after I got engaged and right before I went to Egypt, how it was all perfect. So I'll be sharing more with you on that, and I look forward to connecting with you. I'll see you next time.